T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone, T-Man 978 reviewing Transformers Masterpiece Grimlock. He's Masterpiece 03. He was a ToysR exclusive about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. Here's this stuff right there. There's his tech specs. His bio right there. You can pause and read that. The back of the box. This is before they stopped putting like words on the back of the boxes because of the multi-language thing. And just the wraparound Autobot logo. And that's it for the box. And here we have Mr. Masterpiece King Grimlock himself. And I have to admit, he was a little bit anticlimactic of a purchase. I missed out on the first Hasbro Toys R Us exclusive release of him. And I was so happy when Hasbro announced that, along with the Dinobots being in Age of Extinction, that they were going to re-release this Grimlock and basically unchanged. And really, he has a better color scheme than that first release because he doesn't have these. He had paint on the original right there, like some stripes on his arm, which I never liked. But he comes with a few accessories: this sword, that gun, this crown, because in the comics he actually became the leader of the Autobots for a while and he started sporting a crown. You've seen him with that? Now let me get it off. Now let's do a close-up on his face, which is excellently detailed and whatnot. And my freaking tripod wants to fall down on me. But yeah, nice head sculpt. Of course, he has this little switch on the back of his head. You raise that up. And now he has optional red eyes because at one point he had red eyes in a cartoon. And I'm not sure if he had red eyes in a comic, but let's keep them blue. You can see the inner workings of his chest through that transparent plastic. See his Autobot symbol. I think my main thing, or my main gripe that I had with him was he's just so floppy and loose, like things like the tail and his legs just don't peg in, so it's just so loose in his legs. Like you pull it out like that, that's loose. This swivels entirely too easy. When you kick it up, that joint does stay, so that's good. And the knees have some tight ratchets in there. He can bend about that much before you start pushing his tail out. And he can actually click a few more clicks right there. If you want, you can use this transformation joint as some articulation too. Head, well, he does have, well, I'm going over articulation. I didn't plan on doing it this quick, but his waist twists that much. His head can look up a lot, but you can see that whole hollowness in his neck. So it can rotate 360. Arms are on a big ball joint so they can turn in like this and out like that. And they can swing out that much, which really sucks, but Apollyon has about the same range. He has bicep swivel that swivels to there and then stops. He has a double jointed elbow, but it doesn't work like a real double jointed elbow. He has wrist swivel, and because of the transformation, it can go in like that. These fingers are connected. This index finger comes out, and the thumb is on the ball joint right there at the base knuckle. The gun is on a 5mm peg, so other Transformers, smaller Transformers like Generations, can actually hold this. There's also a separate peg that can fit into his hand, like right here. But let's leave that out for a moment. Because this arm, there's a button right there. You push that, and the sword glows. Barely. Yay. Let's take the sword out. This hand, the fingers are fixed, which is very unfortunate. But the thumb is on a ball joint, so you can pose that around. Put the gun in the hand. And let's see. Yeah, you barely can see the light at all, so that is very weak. Now you can see it in the palm of his hand. but it doesn't eliminate through the weapons, which is very unfortunate. But he's covered in detail. I never know what to do with these hands. I just decided to put them off like that. You can see the head on the back just like on the cartoon, just like on the original G1 toy. The wings are adjustable. And pretty much that's Grimlock in his robot mode. Here he is with some Chug robots, and just to let you see, Wheeljack here is holding his weapons. And here's where things got a little bit anticlimactic for me. I mean, I bought him to be a masterpiece figure, and I guess he is a masterpiece version of the G1 toy. This was back when Hasbro and Takara couldn't decide on what they wanted to do with Masterpiece. So every release was just a whole different concept. So he's a Masterpiece version of the G1 toy. And he fits in really well with Chug or Generations Classics figures, which is a cool option to have. Here he is with another figure that has an identity crisis on what line he wants to fit in, because Devastator is way bigger than the other Combiner Wars combiners. So he can basically fit in with Masterpiece or Generations if you want. And I think this is a good scale right here. But here's where things get a little bit messy. Grimlock should never be shorter than Optimus Prime. I mean, he scales well with the Seekers, as you can see. I guess he would be a little bit taller than a Seeker Jet. But, of course, he does not fit in very well with the Masterpiece Autobots, which is unfortunate. But like I said, he is good with the Seeker Jets, but not so much a figure like Soundwave, who is a little bit taller than the Seeker Jets. Soundwave should not be as tall as Grimlock to me. Before we go to transformation, I want to get to an issue that a lot of people have that's a little bit wonky. This chest. I mean, Grimlock does have the weight of a Masterpiece figure, which does make me feel good because these claws right here on this fist are die cast, and they give him a lot of weight. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these shoulders right here, this part of the shoulder is die cast as well. And I didn't show this off. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but the gold on that die cast is starting to look rusty and ugly. And I don't play with this toy. I display it on a shelf, and that's pretty much where it's been. I don't keep it in like a basement or anything like some of my other toys. But let's get into that chest problem. Like, if you don't have this latched correctly, yeah, there we go. Like this part right here is supposed to fit into a groove right there to make that Autobot symbol come out correctly, which is very difficult. If you don't have it right, he will be floppy bloppy and just falling all over the place. But as you can see, if you do it right, you don't have to have that problem. But let's get to this transformation. I'm gonna put his crown on just to let you see that he can actually transform with the crown on in, so it won't get friggin' lost. So what you want to do, start with the hands, lift that up, open this panel. I put the thumb down like that and rotate that in. Okay, same stuff over here. Shut these fingers, rotate that in. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, now we can lift that up. Let this droop down. Put the arms, I guess, like this. And bring these around the arms. Oh, wait, before you shut it all the way, bring the head up so that this little tab can fit in between a groove right here. And now you can go ahead and close that. So now he's pretty much transformed except his legs. And with the legs, the main thing you want to make sure you do is fold this crotch down, which does fight you every step of the way. You gotta just make sure that the hips are straight. Okay, the legs. Rotate this out. Wait, before you rotate that out, rotate this out. Now, rotate this up and bring this section out like that. Simple enough. Rotate the leg inward like this and spin it around at the thigh joint, and basically shut that on itself. And I know I'm probably making this look way more difficult than it is. Same thing over here. Rotate this out, take this joint, rotate it like that, take the tip of the tail out, which I didn't do on this side, which was normally loose before I started doing this video. Okay, rotate the leg. While you're rotating this thigh joint, you gotta put this inward like that, and basically push it down and collapse this together. And if this hip joint isn't right, which it doesn't look to be, things won't want to collapse together. Shut. I'll basically make sure these are to the side. And come on. Snap everything together very tightly. Straighten up the legs. And basically, Grimlock is transformed. These bicep joints, which are now knee joints, are very loose on my figure, which is frustrating. But yeah, Grimlock looks very good in this mode. And this is definitely probably the mode they cared more about. You see more of his color details. You see, well, you can see this in robot mode, but these are transparent bits with painted right there. This neck ring has a little bit of a green hue to it, which I don't believe the original toy had. But that's nice. Well, I don't like it being green. I don't know why I said it's nice. In the cartoon, he mostly set up like this. My tripod, like I said, is being stupid on me. So if you set him up like this, you don't have to worry about those knees too bad. But here he is. His mouth can open up. His teeth are less sharp than the Takara counterpart, but they still are sharp. You can see his little flamethrower in his mouth. His head, you lift this up. Rotate this little wheel right here in his head. Now you can make his eyes red. His dino arms on a ball joint right here that has that range of motion. A single hinge right there, and each one of these claws is individual. Legs can go all the way friggin' around, and it has a knee joint that can only bend about that much, but you can give them a reverse chicken leg like that if you want to, and make them stand straight out. Gimmick, and I don't know why they put a gimmick in this story. He probably could have been a lot better and more stable if they didn't have this gimmick. But you rotate this and his head can turn. So I guess if he's biting something, he could just tear him apart. But let me get some comparisons in here and move this on. Actually, before the comparison, he has a little panel right here. You're supposed to be able to store this gun right here some type of way. I, for the life of me, have not been able to figure this out. And I don't feel like sitting through a review. I guess you could put it like that. So it's not falling out. But I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but it's not falling out. So that's a good option right there. Here he is again with Devastator, and like I said, I guess that's a good scale to me anyway. Here he is with the Classics Generations folks and Honorable Generations folks. And he loses some height. I think in the cartoon he used to get bigger when he became a dinosaur, but that's still a good scale to me. That height loss really affects him right here with these Masterpiece figures, because he should be way bigger again than Starscream, and definitely bigger than Optimus Prime. Bumblebee, there might not be a problem, but Bumblebee is a short Masterpiece figure. All in all, for me, Masterpiece Grimlock is a good, impressive Generations figure, but not a very impressive Masterpiece figure. I mean, it is cool that he does have some weight to him, but he does have some nice glossy die cast and whatnot, but I'm not that impressed with him as far as being a masterpiece, like I said. But it is a cool, decent figure. I love the color scheme, even though he doesn't have a ton of paint and whatnot. But he shouldn't have a ton of paint, because he's always just been a mostly gray / silverish character. But anywho, hopefully you enjoyed watching this review. If you did, let me know by clicking the thumbs up button. I love that. Anyway, until next time, T-Man 978 out of here.